On this episode of Our Little Warehome, we're going to make our home energy efficient.
We're Alan, Anna, Jimmy, and Sarah, just an ordinary American family building an extraordinary home. From designing a multi-purpose office space to creating an amazing outdoor patio, you'll see how, with a little bit of teamwork and a lot of elbow grease and even more imagination, turned our DIY fantasy into a DIY reality. Come join us as we embark on this new and exciting challenge, turning an old abandoned warehouse into our little warehome. Our current home is 3,200 square feet, and our power bill can be anywhere from $300 to $500 per month in the summer months. It has 2 hot water heaters, which means we're using way more power than we used to. Both AC units run about 24 hours a day in the summertime. We even have a black asphalt shingle roof. They hold the heat and heat your home all day. In our current home, the windows blinds are shut most of the time, and that's to keep the blazing sun out of the window. Now, we got really lucky with the warehouse. The warehouse has large window openings that never get direct sunlight. This means we can have really large windows and not to put curtains and blinds on every window. We can keep them nice and open and get a nice view. Now, the problem with windows is that direct sunlight is heating up your home, and we're always fighting that down here in Florida. Another way our windows are helping us fight the heat is with low-E glass. Low-E glass is a high-efficiency glass that blocks solar heat. It does this through a very thin metallic coating that you can't see, but it keeps solar heat from penetrating your home. So we spent more money on windows than we typically would have because we want that natural light. We also made a conscious choice to spend a little bit more money in the build process with better insulation and radiant heat barriers to keep our house cool instead of paying for that long term. Insulating your home is hugely important. There are 2 standard ways to insulate your home: fiberglass bats, which kind of look like cotton, and spray foam. Currently, spray foam is just way better than traditional fiberglass. Spray foam seals up all the cracks and crevices of your home and gives you an even higher R value per inch than normal fiberglass bats. All insulation has an R value, and simply put, R equals resistance to heat. How much heat does this block? Heat travels much slower through products that have a higher R value. The slower the heat can move through the insulation, the better. And that's why we went with spray foam insulation. There are all types of different roofs. The 2 traditional kinds are asphalt shingles and metal roofs. Now, we chose a metal roof because asphalt shingles will actually hold the heat and warm your house all night even after the sun's gone down. This is Florida. We don't need extra heating. We need to keep the heat out. Now, we chose a standing seam metal roof because the fasteners and the rubber washers on the fasteners are actually covered by the next panel like this to protect the rubber washers so they last longer. If not, the rubber washers will actually bake in the sun, and after about 25 years, your roof will start leaking. So standing seam metal roofs are a little more expensive, but they last about 10 years longer. Your roofing material goes like this. First you go rafters and trusses, plywood, and then this thick rubber membrane on it. It's like a thick sticker, which actually waterproofs your house. After this rubberized membrane, we put down a product called Fi-Foil, which actually is a radiant barrier protectant, which actually reflects heat out of your building. If you're wanting to be super green, you go plywood, membrane, radiant barrier, metal roof, just like that. Local power companies will perform blower door tests to test the energy efficiency of your home. It's basically a fan that they stick in your doorway, and they create negative pressure in your home to suck in air through any little holes or gaps that you may have around windows or doors, or even the walls. It's actually new code in Florida for new homes. But even though our home doesn't apply to this new code, we still wanted our local power company to test to see how energy efficient and airtight our home is. The Warehome is 4,400 square feet, and we're using the latest technology in insulation, windows, and lighting. But we want to take that a step further, so we're adding a 28-panel solar system to the Warehome. We chose to purchase these panels from a company called WholesaleSolar.com because they specialize in helping DIYers just like me, learning about different buying options and panels and making the decision on what to buy. Even though I consider myself a pretty good DIYer, I didn't want to do the installation because our roof is 25 feet off the ground. And so I hired a local electrician to handle the project. These 28 panels are installed on racks at 30-degree angles, and the whole system was designed by Wholesale Solar, which is a service that they provide.
These 28 panels will offset our family power bill about $170 per month. And over the course of 25 years, as our energy costs rise, that'll be about $90,000. So the payback is pretty darn quick.
One of the most power intensive items in your home is your HVAC unit. And HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and AC. When you're buying an HVAC system, there are two specs you watch out for, which is the tonnage, which is how much can it cool, and the Sears rating. The Sears rating is an efficiency rating. It's usually between 14 and 22. We chose a 20 Sears unit because the higher Sears units will actually run more often but at a lower speed, which will keep your house cool and keep air movement. Air movement is a huge factor in just comfortability of a space. Another way we are utilizing airflow is with a heat pump water heater, which we are installing in our garage. In the summertime, heat pumps draw in warm air and use the heat to warm the water. And in the wintertime, it reverses the process. It's very energy efficient and actually adds a bit of cooling and heating to the garage. We are going to be reducing the amount of energy we use as a family by switching from incandescent bulbs to LED light bulbs. LED stands for light emitting diode. They don't generate any heat and last for decades. The upfront cost of LED light bulbs is way more than incandescent bulbs, but think about it. You're either paying upfront for green technology or using less efficient light bulbs and spending more money over time. Your roof is collecting hundreds of gallons of water every time it rains. I think catching the water in a rainwater collection system is the smartest thing to do. It's an easy DIY project that you can knock out in a couple hours. Check out our how-to video to build a rainwater catch system in the DIY's how-to video library.
Designing a home means making decisions that you'll have to live with for the next 50 years. As we're building this home, we made some normal green choices with the home. We put in spray foam, we used LED lights, but specifically in the kitchen, we did a few things differently.
We decided to install an induction cooktop and an electric double oven.
Beyond just buying a few different appliances in the kitchen, we pre-wired the garage for an electric car. Now, we don't have an electric car yet, but we think electric cars are the future, and we'll be ready for it.
Being green isn't just about recycling and minimizing.
It's about recognizing your impact and looking towards the future. There are lots of little small things you can do right now which will affect the energy efficiency of your home later. So start researching now for purchases later, and we can all go green together.